A few days ago we had a new update to the public test server, bringing loads of new content for us to test out. In today's video, I'm going over week 3 of our weekly community post, which this week goes into a bit more detail on things of this week's update, including performance changes and known bugs. If today's video is helpful, take a second to like and share. That feedback is super useful. Now, before we go over the info, there were some things in the update not mentioned in the patch notes. I thought this would be a good time to quickly mention those. So here they are. You can now see how many players are spectating the same player after you die, since it moves to the next player after death. The death cam was mentioned in the patch notes, of course, but that small feature was not. The minimap now zooms out now when you drive fast, so you can better navigate instead of opening your big map. That is a very useful feature. The blue zone is now filled in on the map, but you guys will have already noticed that. A bar above the minimap now indicates how far you are from the blue wall. A red triangle means that the wall is moving. It all now lets you more easily allow you to manage your timing. I would also like to see an actual number on how far we are from the safe zone, but I still do like the changes. New billboards have been added, the PUBG invitational billboards. Some doors now have new audio. Sand now has a new sound effect. It's pretty loud, although it's possibly a bug because it is kind of annoying. If it is a bug, it's not mentioned in the community post we are going over in a second though. A new orange filter has been added to Miramar to give it a more desert glow. However, there is also a lighting bug on the map now, and it's unclear if this is related to the orange filter. Some new particle effects have been added to when you shoot things like the ground and walls and stuff like that. Grass on the Xbox One X now only renders 50 meters instead of 150 meters, bringing it in line with the original Xbox and Xbox One S. This will help improve performance on the Xbox One X, and to be honest, you don't really notice it that much unless you zoom in. However, I don't really think it's too big of a deal. Finally, a new parachute height indicator has been added so you can see your height easier. There's possibly more things, but those were the ones I noticed not mentioned in the patch notes, and I wanted to list them for you guys. Okay then, here is this week's community post, starting with the message from PUBG Audio. It says, "Hello everyone, we're back with our third installment of the community weekly post. We received great feedback from you all on our expanding communication, on what we've been doing and what we plan on improving in the short term. For this week's community post, we would like to expand on some of the changes that were made in the PUBG test server. The PTS is a place where we can push out and test new content before it hits live servers, and everybody who owns PUBG has access to that. For those who wish to check out the new content before it's live, the PTS can be downloaded from the Microsoft Store." So what were some of those changes added then? Well, to performance, the radius around a character in which data is calculated by the server has been reduced to improve server and client performance. Previously, PUBG calculated data around a 1 kilometer radius of the character, and we've mentioned that quite a few times in the past few weeks. They've reduced the radius to significantly reduce the data calculated at any given time, which frees up server resources that were handling all that character, object, and asset data. This adjustment should improve rubber banding and frame rate overall. This will also improve loading times of resources around you. Although keep in mind guys that on the PTS, we are all playing on the same North American server, so performance will improve once we go back to live servers. In addition to this, they have also lowered the maximum memory used for loading. This has had a big impact on many performance issues such as rubber banding and frame rate as well. This is why also though that some graphics appear to be downgraded compared to the live servers. They're still experimenting with that, but currently the limit disallows a fully loaded texture, which they can understand might lower immersion for some. But right now they're focusing on primarily getting performance to where it needs to be. I mean, for me, I don't personally mind the Play-Doh textures that much. I care more about performance as well, especially if it means they can focus their time on bringing us new content, which they promised to do if the performance was at a good state. Next down, asset building loading in Miramar has been optimized. This is another reason why the graphics seem downgraded. They've divided different stages of asset loading so it won't go from 0 to 100 like it does on live servers. You'll be getting a lower quality texture at first, which will improve until it's fully loaded. Textures may seem downgraded as they gradually load in, whereas on live servers they go from nothing to fully loaded. But unfortunately, this does add another problem where props inside the buildings are sometimes loaded later than usual, which sometimes will result in players getting stuck. So their next step is to improve the loading logic to resolve that issue. So those are two performance changes that they've made in this update to the public test server, and that just gives us a little bit more detail into what they actually did. Next, we just have a couple of other little bits of info from the community post. The Oceanic and Australia servers will be merging. To have a healthier matchmaking for that region, they'll be merging both servers. This is planned to be done as the public test server build goes onto live servers, but they will be expanding on this in the upcoming patch notes. So if you're in the Oceanic area or Australia area, your servers will be merging together. I guess the player base for both regions just isn't high enough. Leaderboard resets. The leaderboards will be reset with the new patch, and leaderboard data will need at least 1,000 people to be displayed. So after 1,000 people play a game, they will display the new leaderboards. Of course, the leaderboards will continuously be reset until we get to the 1.0 version. Finally guys, a couple of issues that they're aware of on the public test server. Since these updates are on the public test server, there are some issues that need to be worked out. The goal is to get these fixed by the time they reach the live server. The first one is lighting on Miramar. It is very bright on Miramar due to incorrect weather settings, and they plan to implement dynamic weather on Xbox as well, and some testing for the cause of the issue. The weather will be back to its original state on the live servers. Now, I don't know if that is talking about the orange filter or whether it's a separate issue, but to be honest, on the Xbox One X, I think the orange filter does kind of look pretty good. But also I have a very high quality monitor, so for people who are playing on the original Xbox, or maybe they don't have such a good monitor, it might not be as good looking. But you guys will let me know. Assault rifle attachments have QBZ in their description. The QBZ will be coming to Xbox but at a later date, so this will remain as it is, although the weapon is not currently available right now. The press R to report spectating player message will be removed during spectating when it goes to live servers. User interface overlapping in the main menu is a little bug that will also be fixed. And finally, loot box unable to be seen after a player is dead. This was a bug with character location optimization, which increases a lot of frames in the close quarter combat. They're trying to fix that as well. So those are all the current issues that they plan to fix before the live servers, although I'm sure they will be adding to that list. But guys, that is pretty much it for this week's community post. It wasn't as big as last week's, but does give us some info on the changes made to the test server in more detail. Guys, I'll be back with another PUBG video next week. Nico is doing a live stream and says he'll be giving us some new info. One of the comments mentions something about paint. It's all cryptic for now, but hopefully it gives us some news to cover next week. Previous live streams haven't really given us that much info, but we will see what happens. But guys, that is pretty much it for today's PUBG video. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the PTS, especially what you think on the low quality textures in exchange for better performance. I don't mind it. I mean, if I really cared a lot about graphics, I'd be playing on PC, but I care a lot more about gameplay and performance, at least for right now. Guys, I'll be back later today with some news on Black Ops 4, so check that out. If you want to see similar videos, links on screen will help you get there. You can also subscribe to our community here to see more PUBG and Battle Royale content. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching guys, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out.